everybody, welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Hopefully you guys are all keeping really good. Today's video, I think, is a discussion that we obviously need to be having, quite simply because I seem to be getting quite a lot of questions about this subject area, and the area in question is about lag and what should you be doing. And I think people are getting relatively confused because different terms are being used for lag and how things should potentially be moving and effectively what is lag. Now, I think to confirm, lag is defined by the relationship between, you could say, the lead arm and the shaft, or more particularly the lead forearm and the shaft of the golf club. And what we define as maintaining lag is the relationship between both of those. So if you're losing lag, then you're basically doing this type of motion. So I would say that it's been pretty clear and pretty well proven in terms of what the professional golfers do from a biomechanical perspective in terms of how they move. And I think the key term that I'm going to use is width. So this basically means that the arm structure stays very wide. We know that the relationship between the forearm and the upper arm doesn't exceed 90. In fact, probably stays closer to sort of 70 degrees, which means this trail arm relationship is much straighter than probably perceived. It just looks different in the context of a golf swing when we see positions like so. So if that arm is functioning like that, then the lead arm obviously is going to stay straighter, but it's obviously not going to get massively sucked across the chest. Okay, so the lead arm can't get kind of, your arms can't get massively sucked across the chest, because that would then enforce the relationship of this to, shall we say, increase. So that would be the first sort of thing that I would try and explain, is that relationship there. Now, inevitably, when we hit the golf ball, that arm is going to straighten, and it will straighten very naturally, like incredibly naturally. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hit the golf ball if you tried to retain the angle that you had at the top of the backswing position. So what should you be doing to retain lag, and should it become a conscious thought? Well, I would probably say no. So what happens is, if you start your downswing and you're somebody who tries to consciously hold on to lag by just trying to bring the hands in, then that won't work, because you're going to get massively stuck. And this is why then things like the shaft angle can have a tendency to steepen, the wrist angle could possibly go into a bit of more extension, the club face could get more open. I personally don't meet too many golfers that do that, but it's possible, right? Because I've not met obviously every golfer who's ever watched the channel. So it's possible that if you try to introduce lag by simply just dropping the hands and arms down, then that is inevitably not going to work. So I think the real question is, what is influencing lag? Because again, we know that professional golfers move differently. And we know that sometimes their hands look here coming down. Some golfers, their hands are more over the golf ball. Some elbows are right in front of the hips. Some elbows are more to the side. So the thing that's really driving the lag relationship has to be, I think, more in the chest and the rotational side of the swing. So that's the way I would try and think about it, and that's the way I'd probably try and suggest it for golfers, is to think more about swinging up towards the top of your backswing position, thinking about a nice wide arm structure, and as you initiate the downswing, that you're going to be thinking more about your chest that moves towards the target, like so. And when my chest moves towards the target, you see, it moves my lead shoulder around, okay? And as my lead shoulder moves around and I rotate my chest, then you can see the way then my hand path works more direct route towards the ball. Yeah, I like it. 148. Question is, have you got any more in the tank?
I've got loads.
Come on then.
I've got loads.
What I want to see is a couple of practice swings, right? I want to see the more momentum shift in the practice swing.
Right.
So more to your left, be a bit more assertive with it. Don't be afraid of overdoing it to the left.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you've got to,
Yeah.
I keep saying move the chest. You've got to move the chest. Here?
Yeah.
Show me the first move. No, this has got to be pull. Come on. Yeah, but move your body with it. Yeah. Rotate. You don't need to move left now. You've moved left.
Okay.
Yeah. Rotate. Yeah. Move straight towards the target. There we go. You with me?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. So we're already left.
Now just turn.
Just turn.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. But you can pull the club, yeah?
Right.
You can pull the club.
Okay. I never pulled the club before.
You want to be pulling that club down.
Right.
But what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that your rotation is out racing the club. So what I mean by that is swing up again, right? What are you going to do from here? Yeah, but turn more, turn towards the target. Yes, you with me?
Yeah.
Swivel, more this way, look. Once you're here left, swivel back, get out of the way, yeah. So your left hip can then move back and out of the way. Yeah, I like it. Yes. So if I don't move my chest and I don't rotate and I try and move my hand path, then this isn't going to work. All that's going to happen is that my arms are actually just going to get more stuck to my body, which is actually going to cause even more of a casting motion. So if you lack distance and you lack lag and you are indefinitely very flippy, okay, which again just means that you sort of end up hitting the ball more sort of this way, and that's not the most efficient way to hit the golf ball, which again we all know, then there is scope for you to retain lag better. Should you consciously think about retaining the angulation? Possibly not. The only time you would want to think about it, and if I think about recent lessons I've given, there's been a few golfers which are trying to really flatten the wrist off in the backswing, and by flattening the wrist off and inducing flexion, you will lose an element of, shall we say, feeling of lag. Good.
Fall off the end.
Yeah, I like it. Yes. Thing you need to do? Yeah, if I was just going to draw a little circle here around the hands,
Yeah,
you need to be more in front of the chest.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, the arms are getting lost to the side of your body.
Oh, okay. Yes, this.
So show me. Yeah.
This. And then.
You've done really good on the club face.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go in terms of your consciousness.
Okay.
I want you to now start thinking about where you are here.
Right, okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel parallel to that line.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. Okay, so maybe you'd want to avoid that if you're somebody who is starting to really lack a lot of distance. So apart from that though, should you be thinking about retaining lag in the downswing with what your hands are trying to do? I would say no. I would say you need to be consciously thinking more about what your body is doing in that level of rotation, and your excuse me, and your hands will move as a byproduct of the intent of that movement. So for example, if I sort of set up here, did a relatively short swing, demonstrate the wrist cock, arm structure nice and wide, and just sort of rotate my chest, you can see my hands move directly towards the ball. If I do a few slow swings here, like so, so you get that decent sort of sound of compression, and that's the thing really I think that most golfers miss. And you can't get that sort of compression from a sort of flippy position like so. So your hands stay very much in front of your body, yeah, they never get trapped to the side of the body, and you have to move your chest. Now, also, this would sort of explain that sort of idea of why sometimes I feel like I swing smoother, I hit the ball further, or sometimes if I swing shorter, I hit the ball further. And it would be true, because if I sort of tried to hit at it really hard and I hit at it with my hands and arms and they get more stuck, whilst if I went smoother and theoretically rotated my chest much better or more, then that would massively improve. So finally, the only last thing that you need to really introduce, potentially if you're somebody who's really lacking lag, is this trail hand. As you come in towards the downswing, the upper arm needs to get closer towards the side of your body, should we say towards the rib cage, or if you like, you can think more about the elbow getting closer towards the hip, because you can, I think this is where the confusion lies, because some instruction says you should feel like you're throwing the club. Theoretically, you could feel like you're throwing the club, I suppose, as long as you are rotating the body. And I think that would obviously potentially work really good. My concern with that is that if your arm gets too close to you in the backswing and then you try and get the feeling of throwing as you're pivoting, then the trail arm will get potentially quite stuck towards the side of the body, and again that lends itself to flipping. But here's the testament to whether it's working or not. How's your ball striking? So if you feel like you've bottled up the correct feeling, whether it's more sort of swing up, you know, pivot, hold onto your angles, or whether you feel like it's pivot and release your angles, you'll tell in the contact, okay? So if your contact is good, right, so it sounds like it's a good crisp sort of ball striking, that's a little bit clean, but you get my gist, then there's a decent amount of ball speed and distance, then you're potentially onto the correct sort of route. If your contact is quite flippy, and, you know, if the contact is, well, if the impact's flippy, which means the contact is not that great, so it never sounds that great, and you know that you don't produce the maximum ball speed relative to your club head speed as a good measure, okay? Then all of a sudden I would suggest that I'd become more experimental. So I know quite a few people that swing the golf club much quicker than I do. So I swing the driver at about 113 miles per hour when I'm warmed up, producing about 295 carry with the driver. And I know people that can't carry it further, but they produce 7 miles per hour more club head speed. So it's that lack of efficiency with what the arms are doing that lends to itself to that. And that's how I would explain it. You know, I would explain it that if you are struggling, keep those arms wider in the backswing and then pivot the chest, try and hold on to those angles. And then doing that will give you lag, and it will give you distance, and it will give you more ball compression. And that's what I would say. So hopefully that video has really helped. See you soon.